What is fucking good, everybody? Hella people already up in the chat. How you guys doing tonight? What's up, Chris, Joel, Mindy, Philip, everybody? Mike, damn, Shane in here an hour ago. What is up, Mr. Smalltown? Hope you're doing good, man. All right, you guys, so you already know from the thumbnail, if you've been paying any attention to my posts all fucking day, we've got Angel here from Carro Reptiles, so I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. Let's bring my brother right on and say what's up. How you doing,
what's
brother?
going on, guys? Chilling.
Man, there's hella people already popping up in here. People must love you, bro. Even Shane was in here an hour ago.
Yeah, Shane's a good dude, man. Shane's a good dude. We talk every now and then. We talked a while ago. We started talking when the snake had the whole egg bound thing, So
oh, yep. Shane's good people, man.
Yeah, he's too cool, man.
So hey, I got to ask you. Let's just start off with the age-old question: why reptiles?
What
started it for you?
It's funny. I don't really have that like typical like reptile origin story of like being out in the woods and catching snakes and shit. Like, I grew up in Brooklyn in the 80s and 90s, and there wasn't any snakes running around out there.
Yeah.
Where I grew up,
Yeah.
For me, when I was a teenager, it just kind of boiled down to I needed a job, and I got one at a local pet shop. I was already in an agriculture high school. I had done or had been involved with animals. I loved animals my whole life,
Yeah.
And I was in agriculture high school and wanted to be a veterinarian. I did some farm stuff here and there through the school. And
like 4-H type of stuff, or
no,
just like through the school itself?
The school is in Queens, New York. It's called Downtown High School, and they have like things with like local farms and stuff, and they get you out there, getting you used to things like, especially city kids that like me, I didn't grow up near like cows and chickens and horses and shit like that. So it was really good of them to have these programs, and I found it, and I got in, and I was really digging it, and I ended up getting a job working at a veterinary office doing like kennel stuff.
Yep.
But I got a little older, and I was about 17 years old, and I left that job. It wasn't the best environment at the time, and I was in this pet shop like 2 blocks from my house in Queens, and my girlfriend, like, at the time, she like nudges me and she like points out and there's a help wanted sign.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, what's up with the sign? And they, and the guy's like, oh, talk to this guy, and I go around the corner, and the guy's like looking me up and down, like, oh, you got any experience? I'm like, oh, I went to a job at high school. I'm like all nervous and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was working at this animal hospital, and he was like, okay, give me your number. By the time it took me to walk home, I walked through the door, my phone was ringing. They're like, can you start Monday?
Oh, damn.
And this place is it's a cool place. It's called Paradise Aquarium. It's in Ridgewood, Queens, in New York.
Okay.
And they've been around since 1962, family owned. They're still there. And
nice.
I worked
for them. I was
just
going to ask that.
Yeah, they're still there. Gary
awesome.
and Steve, they're still running the joint. And that's where I learned everything. Like, Gary is a really good friend of mine. Still, like, they make you feel like family. You walk through that door, and it's it's that old school family feeling. Gary came to my came to my wedding party. Like, like this.
Yeah.
This is their family. And they I didn't know a lot about reptiles. I had known mostly about I had guinea pigs and turtles and hamsters and shit like that. I had a turtle.
Yeah, so like your common household pet stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to like be a vet and do like dog and cat shit, and then that just kind of didn't work out because life sucks in certain ways. But it pushed me in better direction because I started working there, and he had been involved in exotics. That place had tons of shit back in the day. Now, unfortunately, New York has these ridiculous laws and you can't have anything. But at the time, I was working there. They had soft shell turtles and baby gators and like all that crazy shit.
Damn, nice.
And he was like, yeah, just pick it up, and I was like, I pick that shit up,
You're right.
Over the next couple of weeks, what ended up happening was my because there was fear. There was definitely fear. You know, it was an inexperienced fear.
Yeah. I mean,
And
especially when you're
what
jumping
ended
in,
up,
you're saying they had gators and stuff. I mean, that's
yeah, that
that's
I mean,
quite
alligator
something to jump
gators.
into.
You know, it's a little much. They had monitors, and they had the owner, one of the owner's sons, Steve. He had a 6 foot a water monitor,
Yep.
and that shit's intimidating. You know, you've never really
Yeah.
seen anything like that. Meanwhile, this thing is like puppy dog tame, you know. But
Yep.
I don't know that. You know, I'm not gonna reach in there and pick that thing up. But
Yeah.
you know, and then over time, you know, they really he taught, you know, Gary and Steve taught me how to handle things. There was a guy that worked there named Kenny, and this guy was like literally like a snake whisperer. He just kind of picks you up. He goes, "Here, let's pick it up," you know. And I'm like, I'll try,
Yep.
you know. And you get bit a couple times after that first bite. You're like, it's not that bad, you know. It's really
Yeah.
not that bad after that first bite. But what really got me though, it was a hands-on experience. It was the diversity, because he had this was obviously before, you know, like the super designer snake stuff going on, you
Yeah.
know.
Before all the
At the
crazy morphs
time,
started popping up.
yeah, this is like 98, 90, 97, 98. So you're
Yeah.
looking at like albino balls had just been out. I mean, that was Bob Clark did that, like that was like 92, and I didn't even know,
Yeah.
you know, about any of that stuff.
Yep.
And Gary was like, "Oh my God, you got to see this shit." You know, he was in boas, and you know,
Yep.
he had gotten a year after he got some sharp albinos. I think he paid like 8 grand for a pair of sharp albinos at the time. You
Damn.
know,
Yeah.
grew them up over the years, bred them. Like he was one of the first people I knew that had, you know, albino boas. You know,
Yeah.
and he's a big boa guy. You know, and I learned a lot from them. But what ended up happening was, you know, he was like, you know, anything you're curious about, you know, they had a massive library of books. And he was like, take a book
Okay.
home, you know, read it,
Yeah.
bring it back. You know, and I was like, all right.
Oh hell yeah.
So I'll grab a book, and I never brought him back. I would come back, and I was just like, here's the money, dude. And you
Yep.
know, I mean, you know, and I actually have some here. I got books here. I pulled them out on the side just to show you. This is one of the first books I bought. This is like one of the holy grails of books.
Oh damn.
You know, this is an old school book. You will not
Yeah.
find this book, you know. Like
Nope.
this is one of the first books that I bought, because that fear turned into pure interest. Just
Yeah.
became, and I was just obsessed,
So
you know.
what species really first caught your eye as far as like you personally keeping, reptiles? What did you start
So the
keeping?
first, when it came to the shop, the very first snake I got was a ball python.
Okay.
It was an African import. I remember us digging through the bag, you know, and pulling out. It was like a bag of 50 babies, and
Yep.
you know, we're setting them all up, and you know, they came in straight from an importer that got them from, I think, Ghana at the time.
Yep.
And you know, they're covered in mites and ticks and shit. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember standing up with my chest against the counter, pulling babies out with a tweezer in one hand and a cap of alcohol in the other, and just
Oh
picking
man.
ticks off of these
Yeah.
things and putting them in alcohol, and then putting them in the cage. And they had
Damn.
like, you know, we had that I forgot what it was called. It was like this no mite powder stuff. You know, this is real old school. I mean, I'm going back into the 90s. You know,
Yeah.
and most of the babies actually did okay. You know, we didn't have too many problems. The only time we ever had problems was with you know, we had used a no pest strip once, and we noticed that there
Yeah.
were issues. We never used that again. You know, that was
Yeah.
just. But I pulled one out, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And every day I would come into work, and I saw it, and I was like, I think I want this one. And I had to convince
Yeah.
my mom. I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be hard. You know, and he was like, just take it home. Just take it home. And I was like, all
Yeah.
right. And I took that shit
Yeah.
home, and I walked in, had it behind my back, and then I just kind of like opened my hand, and she was like, what is it? I was all balled up.
I mean, that's
You know,
probably
and
better than some reactions.
yeah, and you know what? It was actually cool. After a while, she got used to having a 20-gallon, and yeah, I remember coming home sometimes, and she was like, "Oh, he was looking at me. I went in your room, and he was looking at me." I was like, "Okay, whatever, whatever you
Yep.
want, you know, like you know," and she didn't care. But ball pythons actually were not the first thing I bred. I actually I have it in the other room. I forgot to get it, but I have the First Pythons of the World book from David and Tracy Barker,
Oh, nice.
Australia,
That's a great
and
read.
it's amazing. I love that book, and I actually fell in love with children's pythons.
Yeah.
And children's pythons are actually the first snake I bred. They were the very
Nice.
first, like personally, like that were my snake that I bred. Because at the pet shop we bred
Yeah.
like corns, we bred blood pythons at the shop. That was like honestly the blood python was the first snake that I actually bred, but it was at the shop.
Yeah.
But for myself, the first one that I bred, at home was a pair of children's that I got from David and Tracy Barker.
That's
And
badass.
the coolest shit is, and I feel really fortunate. I feel really lucky to have been in the hobby back then. I know today we have all this information. Today we have, you want something, you jump on your phone, go to MorphMarket. It's 50 things you can
Yeah.
choose from, dozens of hundreds of breeders, whatever, and you can get tons of information. I kind of miss the days of like, I gotta make a phone call. I gotta call
Yeah.
somebody. And I remember getting on the phone and calling VPI. And I got on the phone. I talked to David, and I was real nervous. I was like 17, 18 years old,
Yeah.
really young, and I'm talking to him on the phone because my boss was like, "Yeah, just call him. We need some stuff for the shop anyway, and I want to get some stuff." And I called him. And I ordered that list. You get that list mailed to you.
Yeah.
And like 2 weeks later, a month later, I don't remember how long later, we get this list. And I remember it was like this like pink purpley color. You kind of unravel this really long
Okay. Yeah.
paper, and and you just see what's available. There's really no number. I don't really remember if there were any numbers like 1.2 or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so you kind of pick and choose. And I was like, I want a pair of children's pythons. I fucking want one. I want a pair. And he's like, oh, I want some carpets, and then we got some stuff for the shop. I can't remember what we got. I think we got some more carpet pythons for the shop, and I think maybe some spotted pythons at the time. And I was like, I really like children's pythons. Spotted pythons were cool to me, but I
Yeah.
like the fact that children's are born spotted and then it fades as they get older.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I gotta get these. And
That's a really
I
cool
remember,
complex. Those three, the dwarf pythons.
yeah, the
Those
antirrhizas
are really cool.
are really cool. When going from the spotteds. You go from the spotteds to children's, and
Isn't it
the
Antaresia, right?
anthills. Yeah,
Yeah.
the antherasia. You got the spotted, the children's, and the anthill pythons, the pygmy pythons.
Yep.
And then you have the Stimson's pythons too.
Yeah.
Which for a while they had classic Stimsons and spotteds together, and then that was obviously changed. Same thing
Yep.
with
Yep.
children's pythons. But I remember raising them up. I raised them up for about 2.5, almost about 3 years. I waited, put them together, and she gave me a beautiful collection, 12 eggs, all 12 hatched.
Nice.
Beautiful, beautiful babies.
So did you like rush and set up an incubator yourself, or did you like take them to work and be like, "Hey, need to incubate these eggs"? Or
no, I took my time. I knew I'm really big on research, and at the time, you had king snake and you had a couple of things you could read, but I had that Pythons of the World book,
Yeah.
and there was the information was right there.
Yeah.
And this book as well, there's a lot of information, and you just have to pay attention to what you're doing. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, children's pythons, they'll breed in a shoe. Like they're easy, man. They're really fucking easy to just keep them hot, keep them fed. They don't fucking care, man.
Yeah.
And they bred, and the babies ate really well, and I sold them. I remember that. That was really cool. It was really fun. And as far as the incubation goes, I just use a hoverbaiter, old school hoverbaiter.
Yeah.
I bought one as soon as I saw them, copulate.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get me a hoverbaiter. And because I was really lucky because I was working at the shop, so anything I really needed, I just had to ask, and I got it. So it really wasn't that hard. And because he was a nut, he was like, oh yeah, whatever you need, let's get it. I'll get one too. And that was just it. That's just the way he rolled. And it was cool because we had somebody to feed off of. And every day. And I worked there 6 days a week. I worked every day with him. We had the same days off too. And we worked every day together, and it was great. It was like working with my best friend every single day. And all we did was talk shit all day long. He likes comic books. I like comic books. He likes, snakes. I like all of a sudden this whole world opened up. He opened up this whole new thing for me. And then I was like, oh, I wanna get some ball pythons. I wanna get this. And he was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Like it was fun, that having somebody like that, because it could have been bad. He could have been one of these shop owners that just didn't give a shit,
Yeah.
But he was so passionate about himself. It was really fun to have somebody, feed off of you. Because there were times where he was like, hey, what do you think about this? I heard about this. And I was like, oh man, I just read this whole thing about that. So it just comes out.
You gotta love that when you have that bond with somebody else who actually likes the animals. You guys can just go off, versus you talk to some people and it's like you're talking French. They have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, that happens a lot, and sometimes, especially when you have a passion, you're passionate about something, you don't stop. Like we hung out the other day, and the two of us were just like, I mean,
right?
If I didn't have to run home, like I probably would I'd be sitting right next to you. I probably wouldn't have never left. We'd probably still be talking shit right now. It's just there's something about this hobby, and going from back then when I started, and it was really bad. It was really toxic. There's toxicity in the hobby now, but it was super toxic back then. Like nobody wanted to talk to you, nobody wanted to give you information. It was really hard. And then I got out of it for a couple of years. Back in 2010, I got back in, and about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago or so, I got really serious. And once me and my wife bought the house, I was like, I'm in. Like I'm fucking in. Like we got this house. Before you're renting an apartment and you're trying to hide these animals, and they always want to come in and check some shit. So I'm over here throwing fucking blankets and towels and shirts and shit over everything, and praying that something doesn't make any fucking sense. Make noise. It's really hard. And doing that shit in New York. I moved out here to Washington back in 2012. And trying that shit in New York was like impossible. It was just impossible. Out here, it's a lot better, but having your own home is better, especially, or having your own space, period. Like that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If you're gonna have a large collection, you have to breed your own rodents. And I'm really fortunate that I can breed my own rodents. I'm fortunate that there are people around me, like you and other people, that if I desperately needed some, I could definitely pick up the phone and call some people. And people can do that with me too. I get hit up all the time, and the worst thing I can say is I don't have it right now, but I do the best I can. I can, and I have no problem helping people out, but ultimately my kids come first. I gotta feed these guys first.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
But any surplus I have, anybody's welcome to it. I try to make sure that everybody knows that, if you need something, just let me know. Also questions. I'm always down for questions. I've been in this hobby a long time. So I may not keep it, but I might know. So
I know you're not just working with ball pythons. Can you tell everybody who's watching some of the other species you're working with? Because you got some cool shit you got going, man.
So I do. So obviously, yes, ball pythons, but I also work with Honduran milk snakes. I have a couple of different kinds. I dig Hondurans. There's all these different. There's a couple different morphs or genes out there. The funny thing is, I do not work with albino. I like them, but I don't work with albino. I really like ghost, and hypo and axanthic, like those three. So obviously, the hypo and the axanthic make, the antheristic. The anery make the ghost, and I saw, because I had been out of it for a while, and I saw this extreme hypo line, and I was like, yeah, I gotta get that shit. That's the hypo line I gotta get.
Beautiful snake. Yeah.
I'll actually, you know what? Let me show you real quick. I have one here. I have a baby. This one is a holdback. So I'm gonna get shit on for you guys.
Gotta love baby milks.
They don't sit still, but this guy is a holdback. He will not stay still, and he's aberrant. He's a crazy. I'll show you here. You can see he's got nice silver. It's very silver.
That's some
crazy.
Really nice silvers. colors. Yeah.
So he's real aberrant.
Damn, I love that. Yeah,
You know, it's
that
real hard
pattern's
to.
amazing.
When this guy popped out of the egg, I was like, yeah, you're definitely not going in. He's got a little shed on his face. Got to shed him out. Um, but
Beautiful.
this guy was not going anywhere.
No.
Actually, it's a girl. It's a female, so she's definitely not going anywhere.
Oh yeah.
And they just have. It looks like it's like a silver Sharpie. You know, it's just really cool. And they have these, like, their pupils are just like ruby red.
Yeah.
And I kept a couple of back, and I thought they were pretty cool. This one is actually also 100% het for anery.
Oh,
So
nice.
should get some snows out of that. I mean, some ghosts out of that one too.
Yeah.
I also have my favorites of all time are the vanishing patterns.
Okay.
So I do have vanishing patterns. I have a vanishing pattern as well, and
Nice.
I do have a pair that I popped out this year that I kept, and they still have the little pinstripes, and over time last year,
Yep.
and they're starting to get a little thinner, even at that young of an age. So hopefully they'll
Nice.
be just completely solid red with just the bands over the face.
Yeah.
But out of those, those are the ones I really like. And I also keep African house snakes. I have a pair of an albino male and a het albino female.
Nice.
I bred them.
That's a cool
I bred them
species.
before. The male has seemed to eluded breeding for the past 2 years. He just hasn't, which shouldn't be a problem, but he just doesn't seem to care.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try again this year, and if not, then I'm gonna have to do something else. But he's not going anywhere. He's really nice looking.
Yeah.
And I also have some transpicuous rat snakes.
Some what kind of rats?
They're transpicuous rat snakes. They're called subocs.
Okay.
And I have the blonde phase, and I have a silver blonde phase. And the silver is a mix between blonde and anthristic.
I can't recall if I've seen those.
They're not super common. They're not really super common, but I saw the blondes again. I'm also going back to like early 2000s, and I was like, I really got to get these.
Yeah.
And I was able to acquire one point. I was able to acquire a pair, like 2 adult females, and I got a yearling male. So I got a blonde female and a silver female, and then a silver male.
Nice.
And really awesome, really cool animals. They're a little different than typical rat. They don't like. They're not big on a lot of meals. They don't eat heavily. They eat smaller meals. They grow a little slower. I'm not big on power feeding. Some of my animals, you look at them and you're like, oh wow, that should be bigger. And I'm like, but compared to who?
Yeah.
I have some that are the same exact age, and some are much
same
bigger than
average
others.
adult size. They're just slower growers, or what?
Same size. They get about 5 foot. Slender build. Kind of a bigger type of a head.
Yeah.
Blondes are gorgeous. The silvers are just fantastic looking, and they do like it a little cooler, and they like airflow. They actually do like airflow. So I actually keep them on the bottom of my racks where it's nice and cool, and they have lots of ventilation around them. They definitely a little different than your typical like Texas rat.
Okay, sweet. So what are you excited about pairing this year?
Everything.
Good answer.
Everything.
What are some pairings you want to share then? Because I know that feeling.
I try to switch it up here and there. I know that a lot of times people tend to pair either for for the let's be honest, this is a money thing. A lot of people are in it for the money.
Yeah.
Not everybody. And that's why I'm broke. But when you look at it, I make what I like, and I like a lot of not very high end stuff.
Yeah.
And then I do like some high end stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I have het puzzle shit because het puzzle is fucking awesome. But I'm a big fan of vanilla. Like we talked about this, you know, I'm a big vanilla fan. I didn't start out that way. I ended up with a vanilla cream, bred them,
Yeah.
popped out vanillas, got some super vanillas, and I was just hooked. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, why are these not more popular? I just don't understand. Like this thing is amazing. What it does with combos in comparison to a lot of other things, you know, it's something that makes me go, why not? Why isn't this being worked? You know, the super form,
Yeah.
why isn't this being worked into things? You know, I think it got pigeonholed because of the whole, you know, being allelic with fire, and everybody just does the whole
Yeah.
vanilla creams.
I got lost on
But
that, I feel like, too. I
you know,
totally see
because you
where you're
think
coming
fire, and you know, you think of the fire complex, and you just think you're gonna go get a white snake, and that's gonna
from.
happen with a fire, but that doesn't happen with your vanilla. Like a typical vanilla, you know, it looks like a really pretty normal, but
Yeah.
there's slight variations. They have a head stamp. I don't really have a typical vanilla, single gene vanilla that I could show you right now. I do have one, but she was on a hunger strike and she finally ate yesterday, and I just want to leave her alone.
Oh, no, I feel it, man.
I do
So do you have
have
any of your vanilla stuff nearby you could pull out?
yeah, I'll show you super vanilla. You know, I don't know how many people are really familiar with super vanillas. I don't know who. I can't see the chat, so anybody has a question, please fire away.
Yeah, throw it out there, guys. I'll throw it up.
Oh, let's see what it got here. Where is my super? So this is a super vanilla.
I'm going to throw you on the full screen here.
So this here, this is a male super vanilla. I'm like backward here, so hard. And the first thing people notice about the super vanilla is that rubbed out head. They just have this very cool, you know, everybody likes head stamps. I really like head stamps, but there's something about this, that rubbed out head. The body has these like really cool, like, kind of like drip marks that go throughout the body. One thing you're not going to really get on
That's
camera
beautiful.
is on the back. They do tend to have they have a very light coloring to the back. They blush really nice. Very, very cool. You know, they have these squared kind of markings. But the first thing I always, you know, that just pops right out is that head.
Yeah,
You
that
know, that
fucking head
is
stamp is stunning.
it's just ridiculous.
It straight up looks rubbed out like a receipt, and you just wiped your thumb on it till the ink wipes out. That's what that
and
reminds me of.
I think one of the things too, you know, because they were founded, I believe, back in 09. It was Gulf Coast. Uh, Shane, there you go. Gulf Coast. They found it in a bunch that came in a bag, you know, from African import, and they pulled one out, or maybe two out. I'm not really sure. Came back. They saw potential in this animal, and turned out to be codominant or incomplete dominant. And then they found the super form just a couple of years later. I think 2011. That's when they got the super form of the vanilla.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I believe it was either 2011, 2012, they put it with the fire, and that's when they found that it was allelic, and they made the vanilla cream.
Yep.
But the thing about vanilla that I think it's a lot of morphs is the name. I think the name is a big deal. I think people hear vanilla and they're like, I don't want to fuck with that.
Yeah.
You know, I think if they called it the eraser head or like, I think the super form to be the eraser head, and there were, you know,
well, and there's a lot to say about the super forms that aren't an all white snake.
Right.
I love stuff that has a super that's not an all white snake. Not saying, you know, bells and super fires aren't cool, but that's why super vanillas stand out to me.
That's the thing too. You have your typical fires, you know, and then you have your super fires. You know, you got your super fires.
Yep.
This one here, this is a Super Fire possible Orange Dream, 50% het Orange Ghost.
Nice.
And she and her sister are not going anywhere.
Are you sure they can travel down the road?
They might come by for a visit one day. You know, that's possible. It's very possible. You know, I have there's a lot here that could come and visit. That's for sure.
Hey, you know what though? That leads me to ask. So I know you've been working with Vanilla and Fire for a while, so you've had to have produced, you know, your fair share of Super Fires. What have you noticed is the kind of, I guess, ratio that you get the gold flecking on your Super Fires?
My Super Fires have very little.
Very little?
Very little. And I'm happy and sad about that.
Yeah.
Just because. So everybody likes the blue-eyed leucistic, and do not get me wrong, I think they're fucking cool.
Yep.
I think a black-eyed leucistic is just fucking cooler.
Yeah.
It's got black eyes with red pupils.
Yep.
I don't. Why isn't anyone banging down the door for that? Like, that's just fucking.
Right.
You know, I think that there's something to be said about this milk white animal with these jet black eyes and these just ruby blood red fucking pupils. You know.
Yeah.
And they're super cool, man. It's cool. You pick up the snake, it's pure white, you know. I don't know, it's cool. But I've seen other lines, other fire lines and other things where they have these heavy orange blotches. And I wasn't sure if Orange Dream was gonna do that, if Orange Dream was gonna add that.
Add to that, yeah.
Maybe they're not Orange Dream. I don't know. I won't know until I breed them. But I think that there's definitely something, you know, to that effect that could be, very well could be why they don't have so much blotching, because their blotching is very minimal and it's very light, so it could be. I won't know until I breed them. But on that case, you have
this dude's going crazy over here.
So we're talking about who, me?
No, you hear the rhino iguana in the background.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'll go crazy on vanillas all day. Because obviously everybody knows, you know, everybody knows the I'll pull this down. Everybody knows the vanilla creams. So
I'll throw you back up on the full.
So we got, this is your vanilla cream. I mean, she could be. There's Spectre floating around with my vanilla stuff. I don't think she's Spectre. After popping out a couple different things, you know, I don't believe she's Spectre. But this is what you're gonna find, and I think vanilla. This is what got me. This is why I wanted vanilla cream. I was like, this is fucking cool, man. Look at this animal. Like, still got the rubbed out head, body pattern, still got the drip, but it's got really nice blushing all throughout. Really nice, clean white bellies.
God, you gotta love that vanilla cream stuff, man.
You know, it's really cool. So the male that I got, he was a vanilla cream Orange Dream. You know, I saw him and I was like, yeah, I gotta get this fucking thing, man. You know, and this here is his daughter, and this is a vanilla cream Orange Dream.
Ooh.
And you can see the difference. You can see the difference with the side pattern. They're, you know, it's open more. It's definitely more, come on, let me see. And you can see that orange just kind of coming through.
Damn, yeah.
The open blush, and still has the, you know, the rubbed out head. You know, let me get a terrible.
That's beautiful.
So she's the sister of the one I just showed you, and of that the Super Fire. So nice. She's actually also 50% possible het Orange Ghost.
Damn, dude. So have you produced any visuals of that yet? The vanilla
Ghost?
cream Orange Ghost? Yeah.
Not yet. I'm hoping next year. I kept back pretty much all of the clutch. Like I kept most of them back.
I feel it, man.
They
And yes, Tucker, that would be badass.
Vanilla Cream Highways. Yeah, probably it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
So this dude here, actually, so unfortunately, she's in shed.
Always the
Yeah,
best ones, man.
she was my, she was the, I mean, the prettiest freaking thing that I saw, and she's in shed. And this is a
Damn.
super vanilla orange dream, a pastel super vanilla orange dream Spectre. I
Damn.
believe Spectre, and I've talked to a couple people. There are little things you can see here and there, um, the blown out pattern on the back, all this here,
Yeah.
and these boxy. I don't know if you can see it. Like they're kind of. I'll show you on this side a little better.
Blow you up here.
They're like boxy kind of pattern here, and so on. And if you look at the side of the belly a little bit, there's a little bit of like a granity, gravelly looking. It's coming through here. But unfortunately, she's in shed. She's gorgeous, though. She's a beautiful, beautiful snake.
Yeah, I mean,
Super
even in
cool.
shed, that snake is looking pretty badass.
And the orange, when she's out of shed, the orange just like there's no denying there's orange dream in this girl. There really is no denying it. And her brother, I don't think he's Spectre, but he's a pastel super vanilla orange dream.
Ooh.
Look back a little bit, it might be better.
That dude is
I
bright.
pair him up with a couple girls this year. We'll see. I'm not sure if he's going to prove out Spectre, this guy this year. I'm not sure, but I don't care because he's still not going anywhere.
Right.
But, he's just the blacks on this guy. That's the only reason why I don't think they're Spectre, because his blacks are so solid.
Yeah.
There's no real blown out pattern there, but
damn, loving that
just
striping.
A really, really cool looking animal. He did a little bit of work this year. We'll see what happens. I didn't want to go too crazy with him, but he did do some work. I try not to overwork males the first year. Give them maybe 1 or 2 females. 3 if they're really beefy. I'll let them rock. Why not? But this guy's definitely he's definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. So,
oh yeah. So are you mainly focusing your pairings this year just on the vanilla stuff then?
So not necessarily just vanilla. I really like leopard. I'm a big fan of leopard and yellow belly. I think ivory leopards are really cool. So I have a couple of yellow belly females, and I have a pastel leopard male that I think is yellow belly. It's really hard to see like yellow belly in leopard as it is, and then he's a pastel on top of it. So I would say if he definitely proves out, there's a good possibility I'm gonna have something really cool this year, because I paired him with my pastel vanilla Spectre female. So the possibility of having pastel leopard super stripes or pastel leopard super stripes vanilla involved as well.
Damn.
All of that is very much a possibility if he proves. I think he's going to prove. He's really weird looking. I just fed him. I can see if he'll come out. I just fed him, but let's see.
Oh yeah, man. Anything you want to pull out and show off, I mean, we're all eyes.
So he's a little dull right now.
Ooh.
But I think he's yellow belly. I mean, look at that side pattern.
Yeah. Damn.
I see yellow belly. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, he's about to. He's going into a shed.
I can see yellow belly in that for sure.
Um,
I mean, that flaming is kind of tall tail.
It's got some pixelation, and then there's like these. He's got some linear kind of markings. You know,
damn good looking male either way, but I definitely see it.
So just crazy. Like that's not regular leopard right there. Like that shit is fucking nuts to me. And I've seen leopard. You know, I have leopard pastels, and I think that they're great. And again, you know, we have how many different genes out there? How many fucking different genes do we have out there? And there are so many genes that I'm not gonna say that they're not being worked with, but I think that they're just thrown in, or they're overlooked, or you know, there's gonna be hate. People are gonna hate me right now, but you know, I think there's too much going on with clown. You know, there's too much going on with clown. Like clown shouldn't be the litmus for a gene. If a new gene comes out, it shouldn't be, well, what does it do with clown? You know, and people are gonna hate me for that. Meanwhile, I love clown. Clown was one of my favorite ones. And even on that note, I don't have any clown in my collection.
Yeah.
And it's not because of clown hate. It's just not the direction that I ended up going.
Yeah.
However, I will say I have a vanilla and a pastel vanilla female that are both het clown. So yes, I'm going that direction. It's going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, clown's amazing, but I've noticed that same kind of curve as everybody jumps in, and the immediate thing they do is clown combo this, clown combo that. And you know, I have clowns. You've seen my clown stuff, but it's not the tall key or the all tell key, you know, so to speak. Like
it shouldn't be like
everything has to be clown. And I love clown almost everything, but there's so much other shit that I see that I'm like, that draws my attention. Sometimes
and I think that's what happens with some genes that are like, oh, it doesn't look good with clown, it's going to be garbage. No, fuck it.
Yeah.
But what does it look like? People look at like a pastel clown and they're like, oh man, it's garbage, you know. Or I think pastel clowns are gorgeous, but you know, they'll look at a super pastel clown, they're like, I don't know. But look at pastel puzzle.
Right.
Look at a super pastel puzzle. Also, look at a pastel super lace. A pastel white lace. White lace is fucking dynamite. You know, that's something really awesome to work. I have a friend in New York. His name's Sonata. He has a beautiful white lace. And he's working that. He's going to be working that gene. You know, I don't know too many people that are, but I'm lucky enough to have a friend that's working with that. So hopefully, you know, Sonata, hopefully, we can work some out. But
right.
The thing is that there are so many things out there. Clown. Again, yes, I think clown is fantastic, and I do hope to produce some super vanilla clowns in the future, some vanilla cream clowns, whatever. But that is not my focus. That is not my focus right now. You know, I love vanilla. I just think it's fucking cool, man. It's just and fire, like what fire does with a lot of things. You know, it's really cool. Like this guy here, this is a vanilla specter. I believe he's vanilla. It's hard to say. His dad was a vanilla cream, but I believe this is a vanilla specter.
I mean, either way, vanilla specter or fire specter, that's a good combo.
You know, his head, he's got a really funky head thing going on. What I've noticed with vanillas is their back, the back line, the back stripe is very, like, it glows. And as they get older, they get nicer. Vanillas really do get nicer as they get older, you know.
One of those very rare few genes that gets nicer as it ages.
And it is probably that it is in the fire complex, because fire does get nicer as it gets older too. But this particular male is a really cool looking animal. You know, he's got that specter yellow belly-ish thing. There was no yellow belly in the mix, so it's a specter.
Yeah.
But whether he's fire or vanilla, I'm not sure. But anybody who breeds him, they'll know. He's available, because you can't keep them all. But you know, I think this is a vanilla.
Speaking of that, you guys, if you want to check out Angel's available animals, his MorphMarket link is in the description below. So check that out.
Awesome, much appreciated.
Yeah, man.
You know, there's just
So
there are things.
Like that you don't necessarily have yet, or that you plan on adding soon? Is there anything you've been eyeballing that you're like, oh, I really want to work this in? Or
There's a ton of genes that I think about, and because of where my collection is, the first thing I think about is, well, what is that going to do with X, Y, and Z? What I have, because I have a couple different things. I have pieds. I really like pied. I think pied is fucking great. I think Porter's Pythons has some dynamite pieds. There are people that are really working the pied gene. Rich McCall with the super OD pieds. There's a lot of pied, awesome pied things that uh, I think people love pied. Obviously, pied will always sell, but I think people get a little discouraged because they're like, well, I don't want a mostly white snake.
yeah,
But that's when the mad scientist comes in and says, hey, let's throw some Inchi in there. Let's throw some pinstripe, because those two genes they add flavor to these animals.
Low white pieds, yep.
Yeah, you're not going to get a low white pied. You might get a no white pied with a fucking Inchi or super Inchi. You're just not going to get any white at all. And but then
honestly, those are some of my favorite pieds. Are the like really low to even no white. I love that. I mean, up to like 60%, but I got to be honest, I'm one of those people. I don't really like high white pieds.
I'm right there with you. If I get one, I get one. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not something that if I was walking through a show and I saw it, I was like, oh, give me that all white animal with the fucking the hat on his head. Like, he just had a little smudge of brown on his head, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the one I want. Like, no, that's not the one I want.
Oh, that's definitely that 5 gene male right there. Yep.
I want the one where I have to ask you if it really is a pied. Like, that's really a pied? That shit does not look like a pied.
Yeah. Those what the hell? That don't look right.
Like, and then you find out that it's this gene, it's that gene that's not only just bringing a pattern, but is doing something, because I've always liked the pattern that pieds already have. That kind of like double stripe marks.
The pattern, yep.
You get that blotch of you get that little blotch of pattern, and then there's those 2 stripes or maybe 4 stripes. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I would like that throughout the entire animal on top. Maybe all white on the side with just that shit going all the way down the back. And now let's make it real black, those stripes, and let's make it really bright orange or maybe yellow. Like, you have to think, and then you have to go to the next step and say, how do I get there?
Yep.
How do I make that shit super orange? How do I make it extra black? And there are genes that just do that, yellow belly and Enchi, and yellow belly Enchi pieds are fucking great. I think people are sleeping on the pinstripe pieds. I think pinstripe pieds are really cool. They definitely do something with pattern. The whole leopard pied thing, being linked back in the day, that was just something that just happened because it happens in the industry. But leopard pieds are okay, but there's just not enough pattern for me.
Yeah.
Later, Shane. Have a good one, man.
Man. You have a good night.
And to me, I think pied is another one that sometimes gets a little overshadowed by like you, Mike. Mike's that's Mike. That's actually my cousin right there, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Mike?
For jumping on, man.
I remember he wanted a snake, got a bull snake back in the day. It was fucking awesome.
Oh, nice.
Great snake, man. He loved that snake. We had a great time with that snake. But I just think that there are a lot of things that are overlooked because we're so clown heavy. You go to MorphMarket and you look, and there's tons and tons of clowns. And again, this isn't clown hate. This is just let's think about something else. There are other things that are out there that we can definitely work with.
With you, man. Yeah.
And I think pied is something you can mess with. Puzzle. I think puzzle is coming. It's coming in hot right now. Like RCR is really working that puzzle. There's a couple of people killing puzzles right now. Like, and it's definitely something that keep an eye out for. Lace, keep an eye out for that. There's something there. But what is it? That's the thing you got to find. Once you unlock the thing, then you know.
Yep.
And there's a big deal with clown, obviously. there's a big deal with clown. You know,
Yeah.
it's fucking cool, man. It does a lot of shit. But I remember back in the day, people wanted to get rid of all the side pattern. They wanted to make it blanked out. Now we're bringing the pattern back, and now we're doing this and we're doing that. You know what? That's fine, but do what you want to do with it. Like, you want to work with clown, fine. Just don't.
Yeah.
And this is not hate for Justin at all. I'm a big fan of Justin. I think without Justin, this hobby would be completely different right now. Justin, Ozzy, you know, Marcus Jane, like, these are people that I think are fantastic. Billy, Mutation Creation, like,
yeah,
these guys, they've been in it. They know. And I remember starting out back in the day, and there was no way I was gonna. There's no way I was gonna be where they are now because of things.
Yeah.
However, you know, I'm okay where I am right now. I know I had, you know, setbacks and here and there, but I'm happy with where I am right now, and I'm really happy with where I'm going. I like the long game. You know, I told you I have triple possible quad head animals that I'm breeding this year. That's
Yeah.
a fucking long game. That took me 6 years just to get to that point. You know?
Yeah.
And
I feel like some of those are the best projects, though. And even if you'll hear Justin say some of those quad hets are what's going to be the next big thing, because it's the long game, like you said. It takes people years to develop these projects. You can throw any four recessives together, but are they going to look good? That's the question.
Right, and you know what? That's the thing too. Like, mind you, it might take me 10 years, and I might produce the ugliest fucking animal that you ever seen. But you know what? I did it because I wanted to. Yeah. There's that. Yeah, I did it. Look at me, I did it. But I finally get to see what it was that I've been fucking thinking about for how many years.
Right.
You know, everybody talks about all these things, but if you go on MorphMarket, you go on these things, you can see that. You can see it there. You know, there are things out there that I want to see, and I'll think about it. I'm like, you know what? Has this ever been made? And I look for it, and I'm like, nope, hasn't been made. Why the fuck hasn't this been made? It's super easy.
Yeah.
And I may have it, I may not have it. It's not even something that I'm in the direction for.
Yeah.
It's just like curiosity, because that's what this hobby is. It does to you. You know, you think about all this shit. Well, what are all these things going to do, whether you want it or not? You know, it's not that I want to have every single gene, but I do want to see what they'll do with each other.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see what you're going to make. I want to see what she's going to make. I want to see what everybody's going to make, because that might inspire me to say, oh, I want to go back this way, and I want to check some shit out.
Oh, for sure, man. And it's so nice being able to, like, now that we do have such a big community who's sharing stuff and sharing pictures and being out there, it's really nice, at least in my opinion, because we can all bounce off each other, like you're saying. You know, I get inspired from people every day, and it might change the direction of my whole project, because I was looking at it with maybe more of a closed mind, and then I'll see something posted. I'm like, holy shit. Now, I'm not going to change everything all at once, obviously, but, you know, you think about it, you're like, man, maybe I should add, you know, so-and-so into this project. Maybe that could take you to the next level.
The worst question I think you could ever ask a breeder is like, so what are you going to make next year? I can't answer that. 2 weeks from now, I might change my entire breeding plan because I saw one fucking thing that was like, I have to try that because that's cool, and I just happen to have the ingredients to do it. Or
so you might not want to talk about next season, but Jerome wants to know, what are your top 3 for this season?
Providing that this pastel leopard yellow belly male proves out, I want to see some ivory leopards, and I want to see some. I really want to see this super striped leopard. You know, I want that. That's definitely something, and that's actually, like, in my mind, that's one clutch. I know that's multiple clutches, but to me, that's just one thing. Another thing would be these triple hets that I've been working on. You know, I finally got them to breed. It took a long. This is year. I think it's year 7 to get this, because I'm not big on power feeding. Again, they eat once a week. They eat the same fucking thing. If she's big enough, then we go. And that's a. They used to call them blizzards. They're not called blizzards anymore, but it's called a hypo snow. So it's albino, VPI xanthic, and orange ghost. And if that proves out, I don't know what it's going to look like. It's definitely something that, you know, it could be a white snake. Fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's got all 3 of those fucking genes in it. So
Either way, it's a
You can't really go
powerhouse.
wrong. Plus the fact that last year I found out that Orange Ghost male that I've had for 10 years is actually 100% het for genetic stripes. So all of those animals are also 50% possible het genetic stripes. So that could also be a quad to quad het pairing right there. I don't know. You know, I do think the male is definitely different. He's super light for just a het male. Even next to his siblings and even the other ones that I've patched. I've done it a couple of years in a row, and I've got these are triple het females up here that I'm raising up, and we'll see what happens. Again, it could be a bust, but let's be honest. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? I'm gonna make albinos, axanthics, ghosts.
Yeah, all
I'm gonna make some
possible.
snows. I'm gonna make a true ghost. Like, is that really a problem? But the other thing is, orange ghost albinos, sun glows.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen one of those?
Yeah, no. We were just talking about this. I haven't seen it.
So on top of that, I also have a sun glow project that I've been working on, and I have a 1.2 pastel. All three of them are pastels. 1.2 pastel double het albino and orange ghost. So
nice.
One of the females seems like she bred. The other female doesn't seem very interested, and that's okay. So if I can produce some sun glows, pastel sun glows, or even super pastel sun glows, like this is, to me, this is what keeps me going, because I want to make shit that not only I want to make shit that I've never seen before. I want to make shit you've never seen before. I want to make shit that I'm not looking to, like, put myself on the map. I'm not looking to be the super big giant breeder. I'm just looking to make shit that I'm curious about. I really want to know what this shit's gonna look like.
Yeah.
And if it's cool, it's cool. If it's garbage, well, I'm not gonna do that shit again. But again, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? It's a visual double recessive, a visual triple recessive.
Oh hell yeah, dude! That's gonna be awesome.
And I really want to make sure that the animals are ready to go. That's why I don't, I'm not pushing anybody. But for the most part, it's really about working. I like working with some old school shit. Like, a lot of people aren't big fans of regular albino. I am. I think albino's still cool.
Oh yeah.
I remember when they were fucking $6,000 a pop.
Though, we all like different stuff. If we all like the
or
same
more than
shit,
that, actually,
it get boring so fucking quick.
Absolutely.
But
And you gotta go back
things and can inspire each other. That's the best fucking part of this hobby.
Because to me, the one of the things that got me was, back in the day, I remember albinos were actually $25,000 a pop. I remember that shit. And I remember saying, one day I will get an albino. And then the Barkers came out and just fucked me up one year, and they made a snow. And I was like, oh my God, that's just fucking amazing. Like, I lost my shit. I completely lost my shit. And I was like, that's my goal animal. That is my, I gotta get this animal. I have to have this animal one day. Not only do I have to own this animal, like, I just want to own this animal. I didn't think anything about breeding at the time. I just fucking wanted to snow. And people look at them and like, oh, they're just white. But have you held one? They have pattern. They have this purple lavender pattern, and then there's different variations in quality. You can see it. They're really pretty animals. So for me, I finally got one. I got one from Doug at Bad Reptiles like 5 years ago.
Okay.
6 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
She's the mother of
Doug and Bob are good people.
Excellent, wonderful, awesome people, awesome animals. I don't have anything bad to say. I really don't. The guy always takes time to talk to me. It's always a great conversation. Like, I don't have anything and nothing negative. But she's the mom of the triple possible quad heads, and there's just something about snows. And last year I was actually able to produce my very first snows.
Oh shit. I got to throw you up for this. Damn. All right, now that's a good looking snake.
You can see the pattern.
Yeah, and look at those eyes.
They have, drop you.
It's such a bright red. It's almost like a ruby pink. That's awesome, man.
It's a female. She's also 50% possible het orange ghost, and there could very well be some genetic stripe floating in there. I don't really know.
Love
her
that.
Dad was that. Her dad was a double het.
So here's a question from
triple
Tom.
het, actually.
Tom from Timeless Morphs.
Yes.
Said you touched on Black-Eyed Lucy's a bit. Are you familiar with Mota? We have it in our collection and read that it's in the Black-Eyed complex. Curious what you thought about it.
I know the gene. I've heard of the gene. I don't know a lot about the gene, unfortunately. It is something that I have heard of, but I haven't seen enough of it to really like jump in. You know, there's so many that are out there.
Spartan Reptiles.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you know Josh from Spartan Reptiles?
Yes.
So that's actually a good buddy of mine, and I've been I know he's working with the Mota stuff, so I've been kind of waiting, honestly, to see what he produces with it and see, you know, like if I like it, because I've seen it and it looks cool. I know it is in the Black-Eyed Lucy complex, but I'm not sold yet. You know, I want to see some more combos with it.
And that's a thing too. Why I think that there's too many impatient people in the hobby, and I think that's why people, you know, will tend to gravitate to things that have already been made.
Yeah.
I find, and I think we talked about this the other day, that us old schoolers are a little more patient.
Yeah.
Because we remember back in the day when shit took a long time. Like you had albino and pied and some ghost and some pastel and you know,
right. Bumblebee was top of the line.
You know, yeah, it was just one of those things. No, I don't have the snow pied. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Unfortunately, the pie didn't get to her. It was the triple het male that got to her. So but I'm not mad because these girls could be 50%, you know, head Iowa too. So I don't know.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, you have so many genes to work with. You know, I'm gonna go look into the Mota. I'm gonna check it out.
Oh yeah. There's been a few of those genes that like, have you seen any of the acid stuff? Or Doug and Bobby's I want to say it's Shug, right? That's how they pronounce it.
Yeah. I saw that. That's really cool.
That's honestly pretty cool. And
that's the thing, you have to, if you get a new morph, it's just like I really like what Hans Winter did.
Yeah.
He had this funky thing. He didn't show anybody shit until it did something. He didn't just come out and say, buy this, look at this, it's fucking cool, buy this. He was like, look at this, now look at this. And he just kind of went down the line of all the shit that he made with it and what it does and how it works with different things, how it works with itself.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, when you hear people talking about dinkers and this and that, and it's like, I gotta see something else with this though. Like, it's hard for me to invest in something that, you know, not all of us have the means to just drop 10 grand and say, I'll give it a try.
Right.
You know, and if it doesn't work out, I'll write that bitch off. Like, I don't think
you might be right. I do not know on that one, honestly.
Maybe
it's been a while since I've seen it, so.
But I feel like when you're working these genes, is the long game. Again, I have a dinker project that I've been working on for 4 years, and she's finally, I believe she's finally gravid, and we'll see what happens. The male, I'd take him out, but he'll take me out first because he's not a happy guy, and she's like that too, which is really funny because everybody from that batch is all fucking nasty. So I it's almost like y'all a bunch of puzzles because the way they behave, like they have that puzzle nastiness.
I'm so glad we had that conversation, man. Het puzzles really are feisty. It's hard to take people's, you know, opinion over the internet. Like, no offense to anybody, but, you know, you take it with a grain of salt, especially if it's people you don't know, you know. And at first I'm like, feisty, it can't be nothing compared to, you know, a tub full of baby berms. But man, het puzzles, every single one of my het puzzles bites or strikes, at least, that tries to.
When I came over and I picked it up, and you're like, that's a het puzzle, man.
Yep.
Remember, that's a het puzzle. Watch it. And I was like, oh yeah, for a hot second I forgot. but I just wanted to see it so
Right.
bad. I was just like, oh, let me see this. And I was like, oh yeah, you're at puzzle. I'm gonna put you right back down. But
So, because a lot of the guys in the chat know that, you know, I don't really let people in this room. And me and Angel had actually been talking for, I mean, months now at this point,
mhm.
you know, quite a while. And, you know, I've gotten the chance to know him, and I did not realize this dude is seriously 5 minutes down the road from me.
Mhm.
If that's if I hit every red light. Like, you
Yeah, I
know,
could literally just walk right over there. It's like
yeah.
super close, and it makes a lot like easy because when you're in this hobby and you know you talk to people online, you maybe even phone call sometimes, but it's way different when you're in the same room with someone and you're just
Oh,
spitting
100%.
shit all like for hours. Time flew so fast that day, and I had to run home because my wife had to run to work, but
Yeah.
you know, I felt bad and I run in and she was like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. But the fact that you know when you get together with somebody that you know there's that passion, that drive, that you know that interest. And it's like
Yeah.
anything,
Oh,
like you could collect baseball cards, comic books. I love fucking comic books, man. I could talk about Marvel all fucking day long, you know.
So that leads me
Um,
into my next question, because I know you're on a time crunch,
we
but
could
you know,
talk
we're
about
rolling up
Marvel
on an
all
hour.
day long.
What other hobbies do you got outside of snakes? You know, you said you like comics. Like, you
I like
know,
comic
do you have any
books.
other hobbies? What's your favorite
Yeah,
comic? Stuff like that, man.
I'm pretty much like a homebody for the most part. I've always kind of been that way, but I, you know, big on comic books growing up. I like playing video games. I play video games.
What's your best
And
game, or like what game are you playing right now?
I'm hooked on Red Dead Redemption,
Okay.
Red Dead Online. I've been playing that. I play that shit every night with my cousin Mike. Every night we play that shit. Um, that's why I'm up till stupid late playing fucking video games. But I I don't want to sit and be like, oh, I'm a gamer. Like I play one
Yeah.
fucking game every night. You know, I'm not gonna do that. But I dig music. I'm a big like I'm a I grew up a metalhead. I'm wearing a fucking Slayer
Oh
shirt
yeah.
right now. You know, and I grew up in Brooklyn, so obviously I like old school hip hop. You know,
Yeah.
I like music. I play drums. I've been playing drums for like 20 some odd years.
Oh hell yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's
big on
another thing we
music.
have in common. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I play drums,
I
and
played in years, but I used to play a lot. So
I knew in New York before I moved out here, from like my early teens and right up until I fucking moved out here. I was
yeah.
going to a concert weekly. I would say a
Oh yeah.
fucking concert weekly. I was always at a show, uh, be it $150 show, $200 show, or a $10 show. I didn't fucking
Yep.
care, man. I went. Local band, obscure band. I didn't fucking care, man. I have
Oh
seen
yeah.
some of the craziest fucking music, and mind you, I like, you know, people are like, oh, you like old music, and I dig. I just like music, man. I just like
Yeah.
music. I've seen Ozzy play. I love Metallica. I've seen Metallica play a bunch of fucking times. I've seen Eric Clapton. I've seen fucking. I was a Method Man concert. That was fucking awesome. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I saw Presidents of the United States of America. They were fucking great. They
Yep.
were fucking great. You know, there's
Dude,
something about
President's fucking
music,
killer.
man. There's just a thing like, and I think I always find like I start talking to people in the reptile industry, and everybody fucking loves music. You know,
Yep.
music is just a big part of everything. You know, music, pop culture. I love movies. I sit and talk about movies all day long. You know, um,
Oh yeah.
my favorite
So
thing is
what
sit
was
in front of the TV with a bowl of cereal and watch cartoons. Man, that's that's my
what's your
thing.
favorite? What was your favorite concert so far? And that also leads me. What's your favorite cartoon?
My favorite concert. I'll say this like the one I probably had the most fun at was it's really hard to fucking say. I saw Tenacious D in Madison
Oh
Square
hell
Garden. That was a fucking great show. But I would say
yeah.
the coolest concert was I saw Metallica and James Hetfield gave me a hug. I that to me was like the pinnacle of my like my concert going. I was like, James
Oh
Hetfield
fuck
just
yeah.
gave me a big fucking hug. Like I was
Oh
like,
shit.
oh.
Yeah.
Like you know it was awesome. But you know going to shows and you know changes as you get older too, because like you know I was always in the pit, like not
Yeah.
that, not like swinging and hitting people. I like old school pit, you jumping around and whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then you end up like you know, you start moving back. You start heading back to the bar. You know, you get a little older, and now I'm that guy in the back, just like holding my drink, like.
Yep. Dude, I'm right
Like,
there
you
with
know,
you.
I might go in that pit. Let me just finish this drink. I'm gonna go in there. But
Right?
you know, like there's so many cool shows. Like Anthrax was a fucking great show.
Yeah.
So like that was the thing. Like going to concerts and talking shit about reptiles and watching movies, reading comic books. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I loved all that shit. But then I
I'm not
moved
gonna
out
lie.
here.
Working in the industry for so long, concerts are kind of ruined for me now because I've been working in the music industry for 10 years now. Obviously, not right now due to COVID, right?
Right.
But excuse me, damn. But it kind of ruined it for me, man. Because now I go to a show and I'm like, oh man, that fucking cable's out of place. Oh man, that shit is not that stage crew is fucked. That is not on your spike marks. What the fuck? You didn't lock that drum riser. You know what I mean? You notice all this little stuff, and
Yeah,
so
it's
now
just
I'm
like
like,
when you watch a movie and they're like, "Oh my god, that snake is poisonous." And you're
yep,
like, "First of all,
no bitch.
they're not
Yeah,
poisonous. Second of all, that's a boa constrictor. And thirdly, you got why a boa constrictor is not even from this area that you're filming. Like, I don't
right.
understand how is this boa in the fucking
Yeah.
trees and the like
Have you ever went back
that
and watched any of the old Fear Factor episodes?
no, I remember seeing it back
Oh
in the
my
day though
god,
and
dude.
thinking like, why are you all afraid? There's a bunch of corn snakes
So I
or
remember the
ribbon
same
snakes,
thing
you
like back
know?
when it first came out, but I rewatched some of the episodes lately because I was like, fuck it. I saw it across the screen. I'm like, all right, sure. Dude, it's hilarious. You look back, you're like, holy crap, they have corn snakes mixed with balls, mixed with berms, all in this big ass tank or in this pit. You're like, who the hell gave them 100 different, like, hey, can I get 100
Like, where
mixed
do you
snakes?
get that? But then on top of that, the announcer, whoever's talking, he's like, and now she's gonna lay down with these deadly animals. And it's like, who the fuck said they were deadly? That's a fucking ribbon snake. It's not gonna
Fucking
do
corn
anything
snakes
to
or
you.
some shit.
The worst thing is gonna happen, it's gonna shit on you. It's like musk for the rest of the show. Like that's about
Right?
it. You know? It's really annoying. And then you see like they'll pull out, oh, it's just a Komodo dragon. And I'm like, no, it's
Yep.
not. It's a fucking iguana. What are you doing? Like, you guys are
Dude, that shit
so,
fails me, man.
you know. And then you watch some of these like old school black and white, horror movies back in the day, and they like glued a horn on an iguana and he's fighting a bearded dragon, and it's like, this is
Dude, for
terrible.
real.
This is so bad, but I
Even
love
old
it because this is
documentaries,
bad.
you'll watch them. It's like, this is the reticulated python. You're like, that's a fucking African rock or that's a berm. Like,
They get
come on,
72
bro.
feet and 20 fucking tons. Like, where'd you get your
Oh,
information
shit.
from? Like
Right?
it gets ridiculous, but it's gotten better. I'm not gonna lie. These things have definitely gotten
Oh,
better.
for sure,
So
for sure. No, that was a good laugh, man. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So
nah,
what's
it's
your favorite
hard, man.
cartoon you've been watching?
Right now, I was digging on the HBO Harley Quinn series. She's fucking
Okay.
hilarious. That shit is
I haven't
hilarious.
seen
But I don't know. I like a lot of different types of cartoons. I like anime. I love the anime growing up too.
that. For sure.
Um, but I was a big, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. So my favorite thing was Saturday morning, man. Saturday morning
Yeah.
cartoons. Get up. I don't have to get up at 6 o'clock. I'm fucking, the sun is up. Cartoons, and then go grab a big bowl of cereal and fucking sit there for hours,
Yeah.
just watching cartoons. Because if I woke up too late, I missed it, and I gotta wait a whole fucking week. So that was a big deal for me. Was
Yeah, man.
watching cartoons, but moving out here to Washington and so on. It's hard to stay inside out here. It's
Yeah.
fucking gorgeous out there. Go for walks, go for hikes, go fishing, go whatever. I went. I mean, people, my family, my friends from New York, were fucking dumbfounded. They found out I went whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
They were like, "You can't swim. What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I fucking went, man, and I was the most attentive person they had ever had because my ass was not falling out that fucking boat. I listened to every single any command that came out. Yes, whatever it was, we were all gonna make it alive. Like fuck that,
Right.
Um, it was great. I probably won't do it again, but it was awesome. But yeah, it's hard to stay inside out here. It's beautiful. It's
Oh,
beautiful out here. I miss New York. It's not quite the same. Was that?
said, speaking of that, we got to go fishing soon, man.
Yes, definitely. That's gonna be dope. Not to bore too many people. Like, anybody got any snake questions? Sorry.
Yeah, you guys jump on. We gotta wrap this up, fairly soon here. So if you guys have any last,
I got about like 15, 20 minutes or so. If you guys,
thank you for your time, man. It's really nice seeing
no problem.
and, being able to, highlight your stuff for everybody watching.
You know what? Let me show you something cool. This is a. So I also like the special gene. That's something I didn't talk about.
Okay.
So this is a special.
Let's throw you up here. Is that just single gene special? If so, that's a really
special. This is a special het pied.
Nice.
So I'm gonna try to show you the tail. So this is a special het pied. She's a bit of a slow starter, but she's really pretty. She's really, really pretty. Her sister's really pretty too. I got really lucky with the clutch. I got 2 female special het pieds, 100% het pieds. Really, really pretty animals.
Love that. And that flaming
special
is really nice.
I think special is definitely another gene that we need to kind of keep an eye on. I know Billy from Mutation Creation really likes special. I'm terrible with this camera shit.
You're all good, man.
I think that special is definitely something that is underworked. I think special to me is also one of those genes that I think when line bred is going to give you something really cool.
Yep.
It's definitely going to give you something really cool.
That's nice, man.
That said, I also work with, there's a lot of pastel hate out there, which, I get it, whatever. But because pastels are everywhere. But I work with.
That was a good one.
I work with blonde pastel. I got a blonde pastel female. Animaniacs is awesome.
I'll give you guys some ammo to hate on me for a second. Not to interrupt you, but just real quick, I'll give you guys some ammo. You can make fun of me for being even more of a nerd. I just watched all of the Gravity Falls series.
Oh,
have you ever seen that show?
Awesome. I love it.
Dude, I fucking love that.
I can't wait to watch it again. I cannot wait to watch it again. We can talk about that because that shit to me, there are fucking theories upon theories. I love that shit.
Right. Okay. We'll have to save that for after. Let's see this though. Yeah. Sorry, sure. I just had to throw that out there.
No, definitely. So I think pastel is one of those things that we have different lines and so on, and they're all compatible. Blonde pastel, I got this female like 10, 11 years ago. It took me 6 years to get anything out of her, and then it took me even longer to get a male out of her. And I finally last year got my very first super blonde.
Ooh, that's super clean.
Let's see. It's almost purple on the top. This camera's not gonna pick it up, but this thing is purple. The top part.
Hell yeah.
And it's got like burnt orange throughout. It's really, really, really cool looking animal.
That's nice.
So I'm holding him back. Obviously, he's the only super I've ever produced. Whether I breed him or not, I don't fucking care. I've worked so long to get this freaking animal. I mean, this thing is just dynamite for a super pastel. I think that this is one of those things where, you take your time. Take your time, quality, work the quality, line breed, work with quality, get something that catches your eye, get something that's going to really make you, that's something that's going to stand out.
Oh, 100%, man. Preach it, because these guys hear me say it all the time. It's not just genetics, guys. It's quality and line breed.
Quality. You can take a clown, you can take a fucking pied, you can take all these animals and throw them together. And you're gonna get, you'll get a clown pied. You'll get a fucking a firefly, or this or that, But then someone walks up and they show you just a plain pastel, and they're like, "Oh, what is that? Is that yellow belly or this?" And you're like, "No, that's just a pastel."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No fucking way," and they don't believe you. But
yeah,
you do the work, like I've seen fires and I've seen fires. I've seen pastels and
Yeah.
I've seen pastels. And to me, that's special right there. I believe that's possibly, I believe that's het pied influence that's making her a little bit brighter. But
Yep.
what if it's not?
Yeah.
What if it's not? What if this animal is just
Those
really
4 or
special
5 gene
in itself?
combos too, and you
Hmm.
started off with all of those 4 or 5 genes, quality, the best you could find, that 4 or 5 gener is gonna look way out of this world compared to the guy who was like, "Okay, what's the cheapest banana, the yellow belly
Right.
fire I could buy,
Absolutely.
and let me go get the best
And that's the thing
Enchi
too.
leopard," or
Like,
whatever,
you want to
like
talk about yellow bellies. This guy right here. This is a blonde. I mean, this is a vanilla yellow belly.
Nice. Man, I love, me, I love the yellow belly stuff. Everything in that complex is fire.
I mean, that's a vanilla
Nice.
yellow belly. I've had him for a couple of years, and he's still here. He's available too. But this guy is gonna make some dynamite babies. He's gonna
Oh
make some
yeah.
dynamite babies. His mom was I believe his mom was a bling. I don't know, bling yellow, but
Yeah.
he's really cool looking. You know, you got to get quality. It's about quality, quality, quality. Work your lines. Pay attention. This guy too. This is a fire yellow belly.
Nice. Man, I love the fire yellow belly stuff. Or fire, anything in that complex with fire is just amazing. I'm going to throw you back up full screen here.
Like, this guy's just fucking cool, He's got that, he's a yellow belly.
Yeah, you got to love that flaming coming up, man. That'll never get old to me.
No, this is just, I mean, I could sit here all day. All of these guys, to me, they're
Hell yeah.
gorgeous, And this girl here, this is a pastel. I think she's a firefly, but this is a OD firefly.
Ooh, look at how bright that girl is. Hell yeah. Look at that head stamp. Love it. That girl's on fire, man.
She could be vanilla. I don't think she's vanilla though. I think this is fire. Her sister too. I think her sister is a vanilla.
Yeah. That's a good looking girl.
Like she's just fucking cool looking. Super black. Like in person, you see her blacks are super black. The yellow's got burnt orange inside. Like she's a spectacular animal. She's a good good feeder. Like, she's just fantastic to me. Great snake too. She's super cool.
Oh yeah, man.
Super, super cool animal.
Hey man, I know you got to jump off of here. I appreciate you coming on so much.
Yeah, no
It's
problem,
really
man.
awesome
We'll
stuff,
do it
brother.
again because I got plenty more to show.
Yeah, man. I was just gonna say, let's do a round 2. Let's cut it off here. But before you go, where can everybody find you at? I do have the links to your Instagram and MorphMarket. But what's the best way to contact you? Throw your stuff out there.
Best way is Instagram. Instagram. So it's going to be Angel_Carro_Reptiles on Instagram. That's the best way to get in touch with me. And honestly, just hit me up. Ask me questions. You can ask me questions. It's totally fine. You're not bothering me. I try to get back to everybody as fast as possible. I might not get back to you immediately, but I get back as fast as I can, and I will always get back to you. Always get back to you. And even if it's something that we didn't talk about, I don't have. I'm always happy to talk about reptiles in general. But if I don't have the answer, I'll tell you I don't know. And I will do the best to direct you to someone that does, or maybe some information. And oftentimes, if I don't know, I'm gonna start obsessing because I don't fucking know. So now I gotta start finding out why don't I know this?
Yep.
So Definitely hit me up. You have any questions, any concerns, anything like that. You want to see something, want me to take a shot of something, it's fine. But I do have stuff on MorphMarket, and I got stuff that I haven't posted yet too. So you can always ask too. I'm always down with that. So definitely hit me up. I'd love to hear from you guys.
Oh yeah. Hey, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. And
thank
like
you for
I said,
having me
guys,
on, man.
Instagram is in the description below. So is the link to his MorphMarket. So you guys can go check those out right away. Show my man some love. I guess we'll wrap it up on that. Thank you, man.
All right, man. You guys have a good night.
Shortly, brother. Damn, you guys. That was fire. Love that dude. Like I said, we've been talking for quite a few months now, and just really hit it off. Obviously with him coming over, you guys know me. I don't really have people in here often. But once I found out he was local, we hung out, met a couple times. I felt comfortable, but like he was saying, we came here and literally the whole time we're just talking snakes. I mean, like you said before, man, minutes turned into hours and we're like, oh shit, okay, gotta go, So really thankful to Angel. Like I said, you guys go show that man some love. If you guys don't mind, please smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not already so you get notified when we upload more content. If you guys haven't already, go check out www.thesnakenerd.com. You'll find awesome merch like this, not only for D's Balls and Exotics, but also the Snake Nerd Lounge merch. You guys will find awesome cups like this. If you guys didn't notice this changing colors as we were going, super cool mugs. And I'm going to wrap it up on that. You guys, thank you for everybody who's watching. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. And until next week, peace.